Welcome to Real Reviews. This week we got Solo, a Star Wars story.
Yes.
Now I'm going to try to keep my review focused on just the movie.
I think there's so much that we could talk about.
Oh man, I could talk about half an hour about Star Wars.
Yeah.
But I'll keep it focused on the movie. There was pros, there was cons. First things off, I thought it was a lot of fun actually.
This is the movie that Disney made that no one wanted. And yeah, it's a fun movie. It's Star Wars.
Yeah.
It has that Star Wars feel. You're in the universe. That's what we love. It's all that feels, right? But the entire movie was essentially about nothing. I didn't care about anything. I didn't care about the characters, and I didn't care about the story.
I like the fact, I thought the action scenes they set up are pretty cool. It's basically a heist movie.
Yeah.
You learn how Han, how he starts out. He's trying to, it's always for a girl. He's trying to make a little money to go rescue his lady friend, we'll say.
Yes.
And so he gets involved in smugglers and crooks. He gets involved in that life. That's how it starts out and how he meets Chewie and Lando. And you hear about you see the infamous Kessel Run finally.
Yeah.
You know what we're talking about, the Kessel Run.
One of the big perks of this movie I found was the Kessel Run, which was so very cool.
Yeah, it's very cool stuff to see like that on the screen. That being said, everybody was worried about Aiden's performance as Han. It didn't bother me. He wasn't trying to copy Harrison Ford. He was just kind of doing his own thing. What I didn't like is everybody's talking about Donald Glover as Lando. I didn't like it at all.
Yeah.
Sometimes he sounded just like him. I'm like, you're just trying to do an impression of him. What was the big, I didn't get the big deal about what he did. He bothered me on screen. You ain't no Billy D. Stop trying to act like Billy D. You ain't the smoothest criminal in the galaxy.
Yeah, so when you have your main protagonist, when you have Han Solo, the actor not acting like Harrison Ford, but then you have his counterpart in Lando, Donald Glover, acting like Billy D., it throws it off.
It's to the point where I like Aiden much more. I'm like, let's bring back Aiden and get rid of Lando here.
And even then, Aiden, does he do a good job? Yeah, I suppose. He's no Harrison Ford. He's no Han Solo, what it boils down to. Han Solo has this smug, and especially early on, when you meet him in episode 4, A New Hope, he's arrogant, he doesn't care. And this movie builds him to be the hero, and I didn't like that.
Was the other thing I thought of, is the last 15 minutes were pointless. They tried too hard to tie it into their new canon universe and the Rebels, and I'm thinking Han Solo would have never done that.
That's right.
I thought to myself, he would never have done what he did at the end of this movie, and it kind of contradicts the way he is in episode 4. But visually, I was still having a blast. They did a few Star Wars throwbacks, for the super nerds, you'd hear a certain name. I'm like,
a lot of names.
You're like, oh, that's pretty cool. And just visually, just seeing the Kessel Run is awesome. And just the way they set up that scene on the train where the train moves sideways and up and down.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun to see.
Yeah.
But it's 2 hours and 20 minutes. It kind of had its lulls. It didn't have the complete Star Wars magic that I liked.
I feel that I didn't sit through the entire movie pouting.
No.
I had a good time, and there were a handful of times where I did smile to myself when Han is flying the Falcon and Chewie sits in the co-pilot seat.
Yeah.
They look at each other, I'm like, oh.
And they say, punch it. You're like,
and I'm like, that's the sort of thing I want. And unfortunately, there's just not enough. I never would have thought Star Wars would have been a flop.
This is their hiccup.
Never would have thought Star Wars and flop would be in the
We're
same
going to
thing.
call it a hiccup, not a flop. A slight blip on the Star Wars. That's all it's going to be.
Yeah.
They said the same thing about episode 1 and 2. And we're still here today, how many years later?
Right.
I will give it its praise for being a fun popcorn summer movie, but Star Wars is supposed to be so much more to so many people.
Yeah.
This wasn't the movie we were looking for, you could say. I still had a good time. I'm still going to give it a 7 out of 10 because of Star Wars, but come on, Disney, let's kind of reroute. You have this whole universe to build on. Let's get back on track and do some real Star Wars.
Yeah, I feel that for myself, I'm giving it a 6. I know, and we love Star Wars. It hurts my soul to say it, but this shouldn't have been made in the first place, to be honest. But it was, and because it was, it should have been better than what it was. But all that They got rid of their directors early on. They brought in Howard. They had to reshoot 80% of the movie again. Like, this budget was, it was just problem after problem, and it was Disney just going, well, we can do it. We can do it. They just kept forcing it down our throats. So,
Yeah, well, hopefully it's like I said, it's just a little blip. A little hiccup. Don't forget to go check out our Facebook page and give it a like. Give a like to the review of Solo, a Star Wars movie. Leave a comment, whether you saw it, whether you liked it, anything like that. No spoilers, please, for the other people. If you do any one of those things, you're entered with a gift certificate to Perkins Restaurant Bakery.